Hello dear students, I am Tejinder Kaur and welcome to the YouTube channel of IGNOU Study Center 2206. This video is for BCA first semester basic mathematics students. The course code is BCS 12. In this video, we'll study about determinants. We'll be studying the determinants of order 2 and determinants of order 3. We'll begin with the definition. A determinant of order 2 is written as A, B, C, D between two parallel vertical lines where A, B, C and D are complex numbers. Its value is denoted by AD minus BC. That is, I'll multiply A with D and subtract the product of B and C from this. Let's take an example. Evaluate the determinant of 3, 5, minus 2 and 6. Here the value of A is given as 3, B is 5, C is minus 2 and D is 6. So I'll multiply 3 with 6, that is 18. This is the product AD. Then we'll subtract the product of B and C from it, that is 5 into minus 2 is minus 10. So 18 plus 10 is equal to 28. This is the required value of this determinant. Next is the determinant of order 3. It is written as A11, A12, A13 entries in the first row. Here we can see that the entries are written in the form of Aij, where I it stands for the row and J it stands for the column. So A11 entry, it denotes the first row and the first column entry. Then A12 entry, it denotes the first row and the second column. Similarly, A23 entry is in the second row and the third column. We denote a determinant by delta and its value is calculated as follows. Firstly, I'll write the entry in the first row A11 and leaving the remaining entries in the first row and in the first column, we'll solve the subdeterminant, that is consisting of A22, A23, A32 and A33 entry. Next, we'll move to the second entry in the first row, that is A12 entry. Again, leaving the remaining entries in the first row and in the second column, we'll write the subdeterminant A21 entry, A23, A31 and A33. And we'll subtract this term from the previous term. Next, we'll take the A13 entry in the first row and solve the remaining subdeterminant and add it in the previous value. On solving this, we'll get the value of the determinant. So let's take an example. Evaluate the following determinant by expanding along the first row. So here all the entries are given to us. So I'll expand it along the first row. For this, the first entry, the A11 entry is 2. So leaving the first row and the first column, we'll be left with the subdeterminant minus 1, 5, 6 and 2. Similarly, we'll subtract the next entry. So A12 entry is 5 and the subdeterminant entries are now 4, 5, 3 and 2. Next is minus 3, A13 entry, and leaving now the first row and the third column, the remaining entries are 4, minus 1, 3 and 6. So as previously solved, we can solve a 2 cross 2 subdeterminant, that is minus 1 into 2 is minus 2 and subtract the product of 5 and 6 from it, that is 30. Similarly over here, we'll multiply 4 and 2, that is 8 and subtract 3 and 5, the product from this, that is 15. Next again, 4 into 6 is 24 and 3 into minus 1 is minus 3 and since we need to subtract it, so this is the plus sign. On simplification, we are left with minus 110. Now you can solve more questions corresponding to these definitions. Hope you enjoyed this topic.